So, you just got discarded. You got broken up with by the avoidant. And your whole world is shattered. You thought you had finally met your person. You thought you had met your match, your twin flame, your soulmate even. And then the rug is pulled from under your feet and it is over, and you got little to no explanation as to why the relationship is ending. It was unilateral, it was blindsiding, and they didn't even show you empathy on the way out the door. You are in immense amounts of pain, and you're wondering to yourself, does this person even miss me? And the answer is not an easy one, because at first, the avoidant they're feeling a sense of relief. They're no longer pressured. They're no longer feeling pressured to be anything for you, to be emotionally available for you, to give something of themselves for you. And understand the reason they left the relationship, if you were a healthy, loving partner that treated them well, the reason they left is because they had their fears triggered. Avoidants have a very specific set of fears, and these fears are triggered by healthy relationship behaviors, primarily emotional closeness. When intimacy emotionally builds, it triggers their fears. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rips through their body, and this person feels on fire with stress. And the way that they've learned to self-soothe when they're feeling this kind of anxiety is to avoid it, to run from the problem, take their feelings for their partner, bury them, suppress them. They don't allow themselves to access their own feelings for their partner, and they run away. This goes back to childhood. This is the result of a person who was emotionally neglected by their parents or caretakers. They weren't given the love and the nurturing in the way that they needed. Their feelings were also routinely dismissed. The message was sent loud and clear: your emotions aren't welcome here. So what you get is a person that learns that if you rely on anybody for your emotional needs, this person is likely to abandon you, disappoint you, reject you. And they've also learned that communicating their feelings leads to rejection and emotional abandonment as well. So in an adult relationship, they fear to express themselves and they fear closeness. So when a relationship is getting closer and emotional intimacy is building, it triggers their fears, especially if they're a dismissive avoidant or a fearful avoidant that leans heavily dismissive. So they're feeling a sense of relief. They're no longer being pressured to be anything for you. And they're distracting themselves, because that's what avoidants do. They avoid. They avoid the processing of emotions rather than facing them. They avoid any kind of pain rather than dealing with it. So they're distracting themselves. They might be going on trips, spending time with friends, working more, or even jumping back out into the dating world to get that validation as well as that distraction. They're doing everything they can in their power to avoid processing the emotions of the breakup. But if you are in no contact and you stay there, eventually they can get to the point where they feel safe. They feel safe to access their feelings for you. They feel safe to unbury those emotions, and they allow themselves to actually miss you. Now, keep in mind, avoidants fear that emotional closeness. They fear losing control of their emotions and loving someone too deeply and then getting abandoned. So they never really let that love form into the deep level of love that their partner did. But there is feelings there nonetheless, and the more they feel for a partner, the more likely they are to run from that partner. So these feelings get unburied, and now they can second guess themselves. Oh, maybe I made a mistake. I am missing this person's company. I'm missing the attention I get from this person. And this is often the point where they actually reach out. The reaching out can be in the form of breadcrumbing, where they're just looking to get validation, little clues to see if you take the bait, and if you do, they know that you still want them and you're still an available option to them. Or they can reach out directly and actually express remorse and desperately try to get back into the relationship. But this usually takes them months to get to this point to where they actually can allow themselves to miss you. That's because avoidants avoid emotions, and when they do feel their emotions, they do not process them at the same speed as people that are not avoidant. So a period of 3, 4, 5, 6 months of no contact can feel like an eternity to you, because you've been sitting in your emotions. You've been allowing yourself to experience the pain and process the emotions. They have not. They've been distracting themselves. So months to you can feel like forever, but to them, it's a drop in the bucket. It feels like no time has passed at all. So 4, 5, 6 months, or even maybe more may pass. And eventually now they're regretting their decision, they're reaching out. However, often at this point, the person that they discarded has done a lot of healing and a lot of work and learned to become more secure and learned to hold boundaries. And if the avoidant is not showing that they've actually invested work into themselves, that they've worked towards becoming a secure, healthy person, or they're not at least actively doing things like therapy, often the partner at this point that was discarded will say, no thanks, I'm not willing to risk my heart again. If you want to give this person another chance, if they do indeed reach out, that's certainly up to you. But my advice is to protect yourself. See if this person is invested in doing things better the next time around. See if they're invested in healing themselves and becoming a healthier, secure partner. Because if they're not, they're probably going to do it to you all over again, and it hurts just as much the second time they discard you as it did the first time. Believe me, it hurts like crazy every time they do it. Now, some of them never reach out. Some of them never reach out for different reasons. They might have jumped into a new relationship to distract themselves, and they're being distracted by the new partner. Or they might feel such intense shame for what they did to you that the fear of rejection and the fear of confronting that shame is too powerful that they never reach out. Or they might think they're doing you a favor by never reaching out. They might think that you're better off without them, so they just don't reach out. However, when they do reach out, it's almost always when no contact is used. But when they do reach out, know your worth. Protect yourself. Have boundaries, because you wouldn't have done what they did to you, and you didn't deserve it happening to you.